I have no idea how much is actually going to show up on camera. Right. Hi, I'm Sunburned Mort, and welcome to another vlog. This is Diggerbert Diggenard of Clan Hole, or as he's known to his friends, Diggy the Dwarf. This is a kit bash I put together to represent my daughter's HeroQuest character and all the equipment he carries. The name, of course, comes from one of my daughter's favourite songs. Diggy, diggy, Mort, diggy, diggy, Mort. Diggy is built from a mantic dwarf body with a Warhammer Plastic Regiment's dwarf head. The pickaxe and crossbow come from two more modern Warhammer dwarf sets. The backpack is from a Frostgrave female soldier's sprue. The short sword is from an Age of Sigmar kit. And the treasure map is a scroll that I think came from an Empire Flagellant sprue. Diggy has a companion called Doggy. Doggy is from the same mantic dwarf kit that Diggy's body came from, and in-game uses the Wolf Companion rules from the Hasbro Online quest, Into the Northlands. Here's Diggy and Doggy with Hlekyar for scale. Due to the parts used, Diggy's quite big for a dwarf, but not too big, and I mounted him on a thin base to make him look shorter. Overall, I'm rather pleased with Diggy, and Alice loves it too. Now this is...
Assassin Albertson. My name is Assassin Albertson.
And he's another kit bash, this time built to represent Trev's son's HeroQuest character, a rogue who likes to throw axes. He's made from a Perry Miniatures War of the Roses soldier with some Frostgrave cultist parts. A simple but quite characterful build. And here he is with Hlekyar for scale. Let's take the stairs and go deeper into the dungeon. Like the stairs you saw in the last video, these are designed to go with my Dungeons and Lasers pieces and are made of megablocks. I built these stairs with a slightly different structure to the last ones, and I gave the bricks a more stone-like texture by attacking them with a knife. Also, it's got a little niche with a skull in it.
So any Hamlet fans that are watching, that one's for you.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with these. The next little project along these lines is going to be to create something to represent the top of stairs so I can do level transitions. I'm thinking something like the stairs in Diablo. Another recent addition I made to my Dungeons and Lasers pieces is these prison bars. These are made from the open arches from the Dungeons and Lasers Fantasy Starter set and 2mm by 4mm strips of styrene. To fit the bars into the arches, I first melted/carved little notches using a soldering iron and then cleaned them up with a knife. I then glued in the two crossbars, followed by the three uprights. For detailing, I added plasticard rivets made using a hole punch. I got a bit of a production line going with these and ended up making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 barred arches. If you haven't guessed already, now is probably a good time for me to point out that these barred arches were inspired by the look of the ones in Diablo, which are almost impossible to get a clean screenshot of. So here's an image I cobbled together using ripped sprites. Overall, I am very pleased with how these came out. Bars can add a surprising amount to your dungeon gameplay-wise, allowing miniatures to see, pass objects and sometimes shoot through them, but not actually move through them. But, if nothing else, these pieces are great for adding a Diablo feeling to my dungeons. This rather fancy wall piece, with a relief of the Hydra, is from one of the Dungeons & Lasers Kickstarters. I don't remember which one. First one? Second one? Who knows? Do you know? Let me know in the comments below. I painted each of the Hydra's eyes to look like a different gemstone. Ruby, emerald, sapphire, amethyst, and, the yellow one. Topaz? This is a great piece for adding a bit of decoration to a room, perhaps part of a Hydra-themed puzzle. And it may just conceal a hidden treasure chamber.
Huzzah!
Brilliant!
Yay!
This treasure chest is from the new Avalon Hill / Hasbro Hero Quest. It's made from a PVC type material and is vastly superior to the cardboard and styrene one from the original Hero Quest. Sorry nostalgia fans. One thing I really like about it is that unlike every other single chest I've ever owned, this one has detailing on the underneath. Yes, it's pointless, but it's there. The monster face around the lock is another nice detail, which marks it out as a rather fancy chest, probably containing an important and valuable treasure. Talking of treasure pieces made of a PVC type material, here's 2 treasure piles from Mantic's Dungeon Crate / Terrain Crate range. These are very nice pieces with not just coins, but scepters, goblets, platters, and lots of gems. Here they are with Hlekiar for scale. And yeah, I'm rather pleased with how these came out. Also, they remind me of the treasure piles from one of my favourite computer games,
Dungeon Keeper 2. Actually, Underlord, this is footage from War for the Overworld. I couldn't get Dungeon Keeper 2 to work on my current computer, but Dungeon Keeper 2 does look very much like this. Returning to Dungeons and...
Returning to Dungeons and Lasers pieces now, here's 2 portals. These rather nice pieces are from the Closed Door sprue. They're a variant on the Warlock's altar doors. I think they're intended to represent some kind of force field door, like the magic doors in
Dungeon Keeper.
Oh, there, I've got to stop doing that.
Oh, magic door! Well, why didn't you say?
And while I could still use them as force fields, I think they work much better as swirling portals. Portals make a great addition to your more magical type dungeons. They are of course perfect for the entrances and exits of dungeons that exist in other realms or pocket dimensions. But you can also get some very interesting gameplay out of them by using them like the teleporters in Quake and Doom, and having them lead to different parts of the dungeon, some of which may be otherwise inaccessible. You can also use them to create shortcuts back to the entrance or other bits of the dungeon the heroes may need to return to. Furthermore, you could use them to recreate teleporter puzzles, like those seen in Legend of Grimrock and similar games. Your heroes may never know where a portal leads until they step through it. This is Covid, the Corona Demon. This miniature was inspired by the recent pandemic and was a lot more topical when I first started making it. This miniature is a conversion / resculpt based on a piece originally by Kraken Games, one of the many cacodemanoid beholder type creatures that Ross produces. I don't know which one in particular, there's so many of them I've lost track. I did a little bit of work with green stuff, mostly around the eye, but I think the most noticeable change I've made is using nails to create the corona protein spikes. If you're wondering what's wrong with its flight stand, I deliberately used a crooked bit of stiff wire to attach it to its base to try and give it a sense of motion. I'm not entirely sure if this was successful. Overall, I'm quite pleased with this. It came out pretty much how I wanted, and sooner or later it'll be joining the rest of my plague demons on the tabletop. And here it is in all its infectious glory, with Hlekiar for scale. Dungeon detritus. Here's some small scatter pieces I painted recently, which, although not as impressive as some of the other miniatures I have, are great for adding a little bit of extra detail to my dungeon rooms. You've almost certainly spotted some of these pieces earlier in this very video. These barrels, boxes and barricades were made by Mantic. These less alliterative small rubble piles were also made by Mantic. Not large or impressive, but great for adding detail to ruined rooms. Also, I don't know whether this was intentional, but they fit rather snugly into the spaces on the HeroQuest board, and make great substitutes for the original card rubble markers. These resin skeletons were made by somebody, presumably. I don't actually know who made these. Anyway, they make for great added details for things like graveyards, tombs, crypts, and other such environments where you'd expect to find bones. I think one of my future projects is going to be to create some dungeon walls with niches for these to sit in, so I can recreate the kind of catacombs you see in Legend of Grimrock. This sewer monster is from the Dungeons & Lasers Woodhaven Kickstarter, and is called a Denticle in the instructions booklet. It's a nice miniature, but it was a little tricky to assemble. Not least because it was not designed to sit flat on a base, so I ended up having to trim away part of the underneath of the miniature. Overall though, I think it's a very nice piece, with some great details, including the toad-like eyes, and all the teeth on the inside of the mouth area, which to be honest was a bit of a pain to paint. And here it is, with Hlekjar for scale. In-game, I shall be using it as some kind of lurking Otyog type creature, probably in conjunction with my Dungeons & Lasers sewer tiles, just as soon as I've got them painted.
Now you can follow Mort on Instagram for more video clips and pictures.
And it would appear that is about it for this vlog. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you're subscribed to my channel, like this video. Until next time, I need a goodbye catchphrase.
Next time on Mort's Miniatures vlog.
What the fuck? How did we get through the last toilet roll in less than a day?
Aliens.
Subscribe for Mort.